The world we live in can be completely unpredictable. At any given moment, a disaster could strike that could prove fatal to anyone in its path. Occasionally, these terrifying disasters are captured on video. In today's video, we will show you 6 terrifying disasters caught on camera. Number 6. The 1976 Tang Shan earthquake. On July 28th of 1976, a massive magnitude 7.8 earthquake struck the sleeping city of Tangshan, China, at approximately 3:42 a.m. The day before, the residents of Tangshan reported seeing strange lights in the sky and noticed their animals acting abnormally. Little did they know, by the next night, their entire city would be in shambles. Over 1 million people were affected by the quake. The entire earthquake only lasted 14 to 17 seconds. But by the time it was over, an estimated 242,000 people lay dead across the city. On top of that, an estimated 164,000 people were left injured. In total, 93% of all residential buildings in the city were destroyed. Making the situation even worse, the earthquake happened in an area that is not known to have earthquakes, meaning the residents of the city were completely unprepared for the chaos that would unfold. The 1976 Tangshan earthquake stands as a grim reminder of how quickly Mother Nature can destroy everything you know. Number 5. Space Shuttle Challenger.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd planned to speak to you tonight to report on the State of the Union. But the events of earlier today have led me to change those plans. Today is a day for mourning and remembering. Nancy and I are pained to the core by the tragedy of the Shuttle Challenger. We know we share this pain with all of the people of our country.
On January 28, 1986, the United States launched the Space Shuttle Challenger towards space on the shuttle's 10th and final flight. On board were 5 astronauts, 1 payload specialist, and a school teacher. Seconds into the flight, the shuttle began to disintegrate after a joint in its right solid rocket booster failed. The disaster was reportedly caused by a faulty O-ring in a joint that was not suited for the cold conditions that existed on the morning of the launch. The failure and resulting explosion was aired on live TV. People all over the world watched in horror as the shuttle exploded into a massive fireball, killing all 7 passengers on board. You can only imagine the terror of the students that saw their teacher perish in the accident while watching on live television. The disaster eventually caused a 32-month hiatus in America's shuttle program, as well as the formation of the Rogers Commission. The commission found that NASA managers were aware that the parts used in the solid rocket boosters had potentially catastrophic flaws in their design, which ultimately led to the deaths of 7 people.
This morning, it looked as though they were not going to be able to get off.
1 minute, 15 seconds. Velocity 2,900 feet per second. Altitude 9 nautical miles. Downrange distance 7 nautical miles.
Looks like a couple of the solid rocket boosters blew away from the side of the shuttle.
Number 4. Mount St Helens. Volcanoes are by far one of the most destructive forces of nature known to man. From the well-known eruption in Pompeii to more recent eruptions like Papua New Guinea, volcanic eruptions are a terrifying event. One of the most well-known modern-day eruptions was the 1980 eruption of Mount St Helens in Washington State. On May 18 of 1980, residents around Mount St Helens reported hearing a low rumbling noise. There were also reports of an increase in seismic activity in the surrounding areas. Geologists shared concerns that there could be an eruption in the near future, but no one expected it to happen so suddenly. On May 18 at around noon, the side of Mount St Helens blew off in a violent and terrifying explosion that could be heard for hundreds of miles. The explosion resulted in the largest known mudslide in recorded human history, which destroyed thousands upon thousands of trees. Not satisfied with the destruction it had already caused, Mount St Helens continued to have smaller eruptions up until the end of April of the same year. Still known as the worst eruption in the history of the continental United States, The eruption resulted in the deaths of 57 people, countless animals, and the destruction of more than 200 homes. The eruption was so massive, you can still visit the volcano to this day to view the 250-foot wide crater that it left behind. Number 3. The Tianjin Explosions. Natural disasters are definitely a scary experience, but sometimes it's creations of man that can cause some of the most deadly disasters. On August 12, 2015, multiple explosions rocked the city of Tianjin, China, when something exploded inside of the container storage station at the port of Tianjin after a small fire broke out. It's debated what exactly caused the explosion, but authorities discovered that the warehouse contained about 800 tons of ammonium nitrate, a common ingredient in fertilizers and a deadly explosive. The multiple blasts ended the lives of 173 people, most of whom were firemen, and there were also hundreds of injuries. The first explosion registered as a 2.3 magnitude earthquake, but the second and largest explosion registered as a 2.9. The explosion was so immense it could be seen from the Himawari meteorological satellite. The videos taken of the explosion quickly spread online and displayed what could be almost described as a nuclear bomb detonating. The footage captured of the disaster is truly terrifying and awe-inspiring. It is unnerving to know that human error can cause so much destruction.
Oh my God! Oh dear!
Are you filming?
Yes, I'm filming!
Wow! Wow! I think we are there.
Let's go down!
Number 2. The 2011 Japan earthquake. On March 11, 2011, at 2:46 p.m., a magnitude 9.1 earthquake struck the northeast coast of Japan's Honshu Island. The Tohoku earthquake, also known as the Great East Japan earthquake, was one of the largest known earthquakes in recorded human history. The earthquake also triggered an enormous tsunami that devastated more than 200 square miles of land. The tsunami was reported to be as tall as a 12-story building. After the quake and resulting tsunami, over 20,000 were dead or missing, with over 1 million households without water or electricity. In addition to the already catastrophic destruction, the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant was badly damaged, which triggered a nuclear emergency within 1 week of the disaster's occurrence. The Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster is said to be the most significant nuclear accident since the Chernobyl disaster in 1986. Because it is such a recent disaster, there is some truly terrifying footage of the earthquake and tsunami across the internet. Number 1. The November 2017 tornado outbreak. On the 17th of November 2017, a destructive and deadly tornado outbreak ravaged the state of Illinois. It was the 4th largest tornado outbreak ever recorded in the state and caused the deaths of 8 people and over 190 injuries. Amongst the destruction, many terrified residents took the opportunity to capture some of Mother Nature's destructive forces themselves on their cell phone cameras. One video uploaded online by a man named Mark Wells has been seen by millions of people due to its incredibly shocking nature. In the video, you can see the tornado approaching as the man films and speaks to his frightened daughter in the background. Eventually, the pair decides that it's time to take shelter in the basement. After a few terrifying moments, the man leaves his basement to discover that his home and most of his neighbors' homes had been completely destroyed. The footage is one of the most terrifying videos of a tornado ever captured, and just shows how scary experiencing a tornado yourself can be.
Holy moly. Alright. Holy shit. Alright, I gotta go. I'm coming, honey. Shit, where you at, hon? God damn, it's bad. Stay down, honey. Oh, shit, Josie. We're gonna get some shit here, honey.
Is this gonna save us?
I hope so, buddy. Oh my God! Okay, honey. Holy shit!
Don't go out there.
No, not yet.
Don't.
Oh.
Take it off.
Our house is freaking destroyed, Josie! Oh my God!
These were 6 terrifying disasters caught on camera. Did you learn about anything you haven't heard before? Is there something you would have liked to see included in the list? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe for more unnerving content.